Showing bitterness towards someone will hurt you more than it'll hurt them. Good afternoon, Dr. Jewell, Mrs. Lyons, faculty, staff, and my fellow students. The quote that was stated is from my grandmother. If you know me, you know that my bond with her is unbreakable and that she is all I ever talk about. Most of the time that I'm on FaceTime with anyone, I'm at my grandma's house. My friends will instantly recognize the purple walls in the background. Her house is where I spend 99% of my downtime. Before I talk about her impact on my life, I would like to share a story, an embarrassing one for that matter. When I was much younger, I would like to say 7, I was a bit of a pyromaniac. I asked my grandma if I could light a candle because I had the sudden urge to strike a match. But instead of me lighting the candle, she lit it for me. Since my only purpose for using the candle was destroyed, I discreetly snuck into her upstairs bathroom and took the lit candle with me. With the candle beside the sink, I tore a piece of paper towel off of the roll and stuck the corner of it into the flame. It caught on fire, and of course, I casually tried to run water over it, but the water didn't put out the fiery paper towel. I ran over to the garbage can and threw the paper towel into it. The garbage can went up in flames, and all you can hear was the blaring of the fire alarm. My grandma rushed in to save the day, and she wasn't even mad. But I was so embarrassed that I asked her to take me home anyways. So many questions swarmed my brain, but the main one was, why isn't she mad? She wasn't mad because she knew that I was still young and needed a lot more self-development. To this day, I still recognize how lucky I am to have not gotten in trouble and for the house to still be in one piece. But please, everyone, do not play with fire at home. That was the day that I realized that she was the most forgiving and understanding person that I will ever encounter. My grandma has taught me many lessons throughout my 13 years of life. She has inspired me to love many things and overall brings out the best in me. No one I have ever met has shown me the amount of love that she has. Whether it's checking up on me every day, telling me funny stories until I can't breathe, or making me food when I'm hungry, she's always there to help. She's my biggest supporter, role model, and best friend. A lesson that she has taught me without knowing it is that there's more to life than celebrity role models, and that I should focus on the people that teach me life lessons in person rather than on a screen. When she teaches me these lessons, she doesn't just tell me random facts. She shows me by telling different stories, connecting one story to the next until they all come together, creating a deeper meaning and forming life lessons. I have realized that the lessons she has taught me I could never get from a celebrity. One thing that I can never thank my grandma enough for is connecting me with my roots. Everyone knows how much I love Barbados. The food, the culture, the music, the list continues. Every year up until 2020, because of COVID, I used to go to Barbados for 2 months, just me and her, and that was just the way I liked it. Whenever I woke up in the morning to get ready for camp, I talked to her. Come home and talk to her. Play outside, then talk to her. Eat dinner and talk to her. Get ready to go to bed, talk to her. And the cycle continues throughout the entire summer. My favorite thing about going to Barbados with my grandma is always the food she makes. Not only does she make it for me, she makes it for my family as well. She loves giving to others, and I love seeing her do so. It brings joy to my face and hers. My grandma is the #1 person who taught me to always give to others, even though she tells me that I'm greedy. My grandma also showed me my love for dance. There's not a day that goes by that I don't dance. I dance anytime, anywhere. When my grandma and I used to go to Barbados together, she always plays soca music from the radio, and we dance together, just the two of us. Now whenever I think of dance, I think of her. Without her, I would have no rhythm today and be as stiff as a rock. An interesting fact about my grandma is that she started her career as an ICU nurse and ended it as a psychiatric nurse. So not only does she know how to take care of me physically, but she also knows how to take care of me mentally. Whenever I'm sick, I would take at least a day off from school and spend time at her house. Those were always the best days, even though my mom would be mad that I would be missing school. I always used to talk to her I always used to ask her if I had a fever, and whenever she felt my forehead, I felt safe in her presence. I still feel that way to this day. As for taking care of me mentally, my grandma has always been there to listen better than anyone else. Instead of shutting me down, she listens, and when she talks, I listen. Somehow, it makes all of the negative energy that was built up fade away, and I feel like I've had a giant weight lifted off my shoulders. I don't know how she does it. Is she magic? She's always there to talk whenever I need it, and it makes me feel like I'm the most loved person in the world. As stated before, my grandmother has taught me many life lessons, and one of the most important ones is that I have the potential to do anything. Not just regarding academics, but in life as a whole. For example, my grandma likes everything neat and tidy, and I never thought I could be neat and tidy until a few months ago. Now, I always try to keep my room clean and my bed made. Well, sometimes. I never believed that I could and would be this way. Every single time she comes over to my house, one of the first things that she realizes is the fact that the house is a mess. Well, in her eyes, but if we were talking about my mom, she would definitely disagree. She always tells me to put things back where they belong. Everything has a home, Eden, she always says. Now I keep my room as clean as possible, and by doing so, it makes life so much easier because I'm able to find everything. My grandmother pushed me to be more organized so that I would be neat and tidy. So whenever I clean, I think of her. All of these lessons are very valuable to me, and I will most definitely be using them in the future. But the most important one is to never hold grudges towards people, because it would only distract you, not them. I will never dislike someone forever, because there is no point in putting all of that effort into one person. That's all they want, to drain your energy. When I go to my grandma's house, I like to go in her room and just talk to her. And sometimes this lesson always comes up. I know my grandmother has been through many pains throughout her years, but this one lesson helps her through it all. She doesn't allow anyone to hold her back, and this is the type of mindset that I would like to achieve. One word that I would use to describe my grandmother is philanthropist, which summed up means someone who is always looking to do good for the benefit of others. I don't think that there has been a day in my life that has gone by without my grandmother doing something generous for someone else. She's always, as my family puts it, running around for people. I aspire to be like my grandmother, because every time she gives something to someone, a big smile goes from one side of their face to the other. Seeing that brings me so much joy, and I hope that I can make as many people happy as she has. Well, I could go on and on about my grandmother all day, but if I did, we'd be here for about 13 years. So I'm going to leave you all with this. Focus on the role models that surround your actual life, not your online life. Your elders have amazing advice, so take it and use it wisely. I know I have. Thank you.